Let's talk to Katue Lam, MP Conservative for the Weald of Kent. Katie, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks very much for joining us. I mean, we know there's going to be another weekend of disruption around the country. The government's going to be monitoring people's social media. They're going to be seeing what they're saying about migrants, and we're going to be seeing an awful lot of protesters outside hotels, outside blocks of flats and all the rest of it. But then we learned this morning the number of foreigners in prison for serious violent sexual and theft offences has surged over the past year. It's all beginning to meld into a very nasty picture, isn't it?
I think that there is something for the public to be, and they are, rightly very worried and very angry about, which is how many people come to this country and break the law.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact is that many of them are coming here in order to break the law, it would seem, because they're breaking the law already by coming in illegally. Some of them are then joining gangs or coming in as part of gangs, and even if they're not, an awful large percentage of them are committing some pretty heinous crimes.
Yeah, so you're totally right to say that everybody who comes here illegally has already shown disregard for our rules by crossing the channel in the first place, which they very well know that they're not allowed to do. That is against the law. And then it's really frightening to see it's now nearly 11,000 foreign national offenders in our prisons, and all of those people, where they're convicted, about 7,000 of them are serving their sentences, need to leave. They need to go home.
Yeah, they do. But there's no sign of the government of this country having any clue as to how to make that happen.
It's very frustrating, and there are various things that I and my colleagues have tried to propose, changes to the law. We tried to make it the law to say if you commit any crime, then you have to leave the country. There are various things that you can do to put pressure on other countries. So you could say, right, if you're not going to take your foreign criminals back, then you can't have any visas. We won't issue any visas to that country until that's unlocked. We tried to make that a duty on the Home Secretary, that she had to do that, and again, the government voted that down.
I mean, that is the problem, isn't it? The government have voted down so much. Even now they're doing it, but also in opposition they did it. You know, they made it very difficult for the Tory party to deport anybody. But now when they're trying to do it, they don't seem to have their heart's not really in it, it seems to me.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but in 2020, Keir Starmer wrote a letter that said that a Jamaican rapist shouldn't be deported, shouldn't be sent back to Jamaica. Various members of the cabinet that now run our country have at multiple points said, you know, it's wrong to send these people away back home, you know, what might happen to them when they go home. So it's very difficult to conclude that now they really want to do this.
Right. It really is. And when you look at the breakdown of the foreign criminals who are here, it's very clear where they're coming from, which countries are perhaps the biggest, miscreants, if you like. Surely that's a very straightforward method of then just going to those countries and saying, you're going to take these people back. I don't understand why there has to be an agreement. Why can they not just be sent back?
Well, there are a couple of different things. So if you want them to serve their prison sentences, you can have an agreement with a country that says, well, as soon as we convict somebody, we'll send them home and they will serve their prison sentence in that country, in the country that they come from. But exactly as you say, you don't have to have an agreement like that just to send them home.
No. So what's stopping them then?
My belief is that they don't really think that that's the right thing to do. They think it's much more important to have a full human rights appeals process. All of these processes take an incredibly long time. If there isn't, the rules are now, if there isn't an immediate prospect of deportation, then you can't keep somebody in immigration detention indefinitely. And they've got no interest in changing any of these rules. Yeah,
they really don't. It's a shame, isn't it? And what pressure can you bring to bear on them? You know, because you're not in Parliament at the moment. Everyone's on recess. They were recalled for an emergency cabinet meeting, not about what's going on in the migrant hotels, not about how to deport foreign criminals, but about what to do about recognising Gaza as a state.
It's remarkable, really. I mean, we will keep doing what we're doing. We'll propose changes to the law. We will give the government suggestions of things that we really think would help, that we really think would fix the problem, and hope that they vote for them. And we'll keep speaking out and telling the truth. But at the moment, we are unfortunately beholden to what the government chooses to do. And at the moment, it's not choosing to do what I think is the right thing to do.
No, as are we all beholden to them, unfortunately. But we can only blame ourselves, I suppose, for bleeding well electing them. We could blame you guys for being so useless as well, and letting them get in. But I mean, we probably shouldn't go there, Katie.
Well, unfortunately, you are right to say that the public, certainly at the last general election, had lost trust in my party. I'm a new MP, and part of what I'm trying to do is build that trust back. Yeah,
and you're doing a great job, so we salute you. Thank you very much indeed. Katue Lam, MP for the Weald of Kent as a Conservative.